Okay, so have you ever been listening to a song, maybe something you love, an old classic, or even a new track, and just wished, you could magically pull the vocals out just to hear that amazing instrumental behind it? Or maybe you wanted the vocal track for a remix, or let's be honest, for karaoke night.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For ages, that stuff felt like, well, like something only huge studios with tons of money and expert engineers could pull off. I remember trying once, years ago, fiddling with EQ settings for hours for a friend's karaoke party. It was, not good. Sounded like the singer was underwater, maybe.
Yeah, I know that sound.
Mhm.
Tinny and weird.
Exactly. But get this. What if I told you that this whole complex thing, this audio magic, is actually something you can do now pretty easily, often for free, right in your web
It
browser?
really is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Let's just dive right in and unpack how this works.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, what used to take, like you said, massive investment, super specialized skills, hours and hours of work,
Mhm.
thousands of dollars,
Right.
is now just available. And that's what this deep dive is all about. AI vocal removal. We're looking at these new AI tools that let you do exactly that. And the best part, like you mentioned, is that it's often free, browser-based, no fancy software needed, no real technical skills required up front.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal today is basically to give you the lowdown, the shortcut to understanding these tools. We'll cover some surprising things and how you can actually use them,
Mm-hmm.
empower you to be a creator,
Mm-hmm.
to mess with audio in ways that just weren't really possible for most people before.
Yeah, and it really feels like a game changer. It doesn't matter if you just love listening to music or you're thinking about DJing or you're already making music. So by the end of this, you'll have a really good handle on the best options out there, the browser ones, the open source ones. You'll know what they're good at, maybe where they have little quirks, and most importantly, all the cool creative stuff you can do with them.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Okay, so where do we start? If someone's just dipping their toes in, what's the easiest path? For just pure simplicity and speed, I think we have to start with Lalal.ai. Have you used this one?
Oh, yeah. Lalal.ai is a great starting point.
It feels almost ridiculously easy. Like how it works is you literally just upload an MP3 file. Or even easier, you can just paste a YouTube link. That's it.
Right.
The AI just takes it from there, processes the audio, and splits the vocals from the instruments. It's incredibly fast. For a lot of people, honestly, this might be all they ever need.
I agree. Lalal.ai's big draw is that simplicity and how well it actually works. It's perfect for beginners. It uses that freemium model, right? So the free version lets you hear a preview. You get a snippet of the separated vocal track and the instrumental track.
So you can check the quality first.
Exactly. See if it works for your song before you decide anything. If you need the full track, high quality, lossless, so no audio data is lost,
Yeah.
then they have paid options.
Makes-
But what really gets people is the performance. We hear feedback all the time. Users saying they get like 95% clean audio.
Wow, 95%.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive for something so automatic. It means you generally don't get those annoying vocal artifacts left in the instrumental, or bits of the music muddying up the vocal track.
That's huge, because that was always the problem with the old methods.
Totally. Achieving that level of cleanness used to require serious gear and manual work. So yeah, for quick tasks, karaoke tracks, instrumental beds for practice, Lalal.ai is often ideal. Simple, fast, good results.
95% clean from a browser tool. That really is something. Especially for beginners or just quick jobs. Okay, but you know me, I'm already thinking, what else?
Yeah.
So you can get vocals out, cool. But what if I want, say, just the drum beat? Or isolate that killer bass line? Is there something that goes a bit deeper?
Absolutely there is.
Yeah.
And that brings us nicely to the next tool we should talk about, Splitter.ai.
Splitter.ai, okay.
Yeah, this one also runs in your browser, also free, but it gives you a significant step up in terms of control. Its main thing is what's called four-stem separation.
Okay, four stem. What does that mean for me?
Right, so instead of just giving you two tracks, vocals, and everything else, Splitter.ai breaks the song down into four separate tracks, or stems. You get vocals, drums, bass, and then another track with all the other instruments like guitars, keyboards, synths, all bundled together.
Ah, I see. So you get the rhythm section separated out.
Exactly. Imagine grabbing just the drum track from your favorite song to loop it, or maybe practice playing along, or taking out the bass line to learn it.
Or even replace the drums entirely with your own beat.
Precisely. That level of control over individual parts, it makes it fantastic for remixing, obviously, but also for really detailed editing, or even just for musicians wanting to understand how a song is constructed, deconstruct it piece by piece.
That opens up a lot more possibilities than just vocals on off. More flexibility.
Way more flexibility.
Right.
It's a really nice balance between ease of use and more powerful features.
Okay, so we've got super easy with Lalal.ai and then more granular control with Splitter.ai. Both browser-based, free options mostly. But what about the power users? You know, the people who are maybe a bit more tech savvy or who demand the absolute best quality, maximum flexibility.
Yeah, for that crowd, we need to talk about Spleeter. This one comes from Deezer, the music streaming service.
Spleeter, okay, Deezer.
Yep. And this is where you get into really professional grade separation. The big clue is that it's open source.
Ah, open source. That usually means more power, more customization, right?
Exactly. It means the code is available for anyone to see, use, modify. That community involvement often leads to really robust and advanced tools. Now, there are kind of two main ways people use Spleeter. For serious users, you can actually install it locally on your own computer.
Okay, so that requires a bit more setup.
A bit more setup, yes, but it gives you total control. Often faster processing, too, especially if you're doing lots of files. But if you just want to try it out or only need it occasionally, there are online demos you can use. People often host web versions.
Gotcha. So you can still test it without installing.
Right. But the real reason people go for Spleeter is the quality and the separation options. It goes beyond just 4 stems. It can do 5 stems or even 8 stems.
8 stems, wow. What would
Yep.
that separate?
Well, potentially. You could get vocals, drums, bass, piano, guitar, synths, maybe even more depending on the model and the source audio. Really fine-grained control.
Okay, that's seriously detailed.
Yeah. It's why the tech folks, the audio pros, they really love Spleeters. The output is generally considered very clean, very high quality, and that flexibility is just unmatched by the simpler browser tools. It's the go-to if you need top-tier separation for complex projects.
Okay, this is great. 3 really solid options, each hitting a different need. Let's maybe just quickly recap that for everyone. So if you want the absolute fastest, easiest way to get vocals out, Lalal.ai is your friend. Super simple.
No, it's okay.
If you're looking for that middle ground, still easy, still in the browser, but with more control, like getting drums and bass separate, Splitter.ai seems like the sweet spot.
Yep, that balance of ease and the 4-stem capability.
And then if you need the best possible quality, the most control, maybe you're doing serious production or remixing and you're okay with a bit more setup, possibly running it locally, Spleeter's the powerhouse.
That sums it up perfectly. It really depends on what you need to do and how comfortable you are.
Right.
You know, if you're just making a quick karaoke track for a party, Lalal.ai is probably fine.
Right.
If you're an aspiring DJ wanting to make mashups, Splitter's 4 stems are super useful. If you're producing music professionally, Spleeter's depth is what you'll likely want.
Makes total sense.
And to really kind of paint a picture of the difference,
Yeah.
let's imagine we take, I don't know, a classic 80s synth pop song, something with lots of layers.
Okay, yeah, like Duran Duran or something.
Perfect.
All right.
So with Lalal.ai, you upload it, and boom, you get a pretty clean instrumental, great for singing over, right? Done.
Quick and easy.
Quick and easy. Now, feed that same track into Splitter.ai. You still get the instrumental, but now you also get that driving bass line as its own track, and those classic 80s gated reverb drums. Separate track.
Ah, okay. So you could actually hear just the bass and drums together.
Exactly. You start dissecting it. You hear the pulse differently. Now, take it to Spleeter, maybe running the 5 or 8 stem model. You might be able to pull out not just bass and drums, but that iconic synth lead. Separate. That funky little guitar riff in the background. Maybe separate, too.
Whoa.
The clarity, the surgical precision. It's on another level. You start hearing things in the mix you never consciously noticed before because they were blended together.
That's really incredible. The difference in control sounds massive.
It is. And like you said earlier, just a few years back, getting any of this, even the Lalal.ai level, required serious studio time and money. Hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars per track.
The pace of change is just wild. Which I guess brings us to the really exciting part. Who actually uses this stuff? What are the cool applications?
Right. The practical uses are super inspiring and maybe broader than people first think.
Well, I immediately think of DJs, right? Making custom karaoke versions like we mentioned, or creating unique mashups, taking the instrumental from one track and the vocals from another. That becomes way easier now.
Absolutely. DJs are all over this, and YouTubers doing music covers, they need clean backing tracks to sing or play over. This lets them get professional-sounding results without hearing the original singer faintly in the background.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. And musicians themselves. For remixing, for sampling. Imagine being able to easily grab just a specific drum loop or that bass line or even just a short vocal phrase to build something new around.
Totally. Sampling becomes much more precise. But it goes even further. Think about music educators.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, a teacher could use Splitter or Spleeter to isolate the different instrument parts in a song. Then they can play just the bass line for the students, or just the harmony parts, to help them understand song structure, arrangement, music theory.
That's brilliant. Or remove the vocals so the class can focus purely on the melody or the rhythm section.
Exactly. It's a powerful teaching tool. And what about content creators? People making videos, podcasts? They often
Yeah.
need background music.
Right, but licensing can be tricky, and sometimes you find the perfect track, but it has vocals you don't want.
Precisely. Now, you can potentially take a track you have the rights to use, strip the vocals, and get that perfect instrumental bed for your content. Avoids copyright headaches, fits the mood.
Okay, that's a really practical one.
Yeah, and I think the bigger picture here is how this technology is democratizing music creation. It's taking these high-end studio capabilities and putting them in everyone's hands. Anyone with a browser can now manipulate audio in these really sophisticated ways. It empowers people to be active participants, not just passive listeners. You can engage with music differently.
I love that idea of democratizing it, making creative power accessible. Okay, so people are excited. They want to try these tools. To help them get the best possible results, do we have some pro tips, some workflow ideas?
Yeah, definitely some things to keep in mind. First off, and this might sound obvious, but use headphones when you're judging the results.
Right, not just laptop speakers.
Please, no. Headphones let you hear the subtle stuff, any little bits of vocal bleed left in the instrumental, or tiny digital artifacts, those weird little noises that can sometimes happen. You need to hear clearly to know if the separation is truly clean.
Good point. What else?
Second, try to keep the tracks you're processing relatively short if you can. Under 10 minutes is a good rule of thumb.
Why is that?
Longer tracks can sometimes take much longer to process, and occasionally the AI might struggle a bit more with consistency over a very long duration. Shorter tracks often process faster and cleaner. It's not a hard rule, but good practice.
Okay, under 10 minutes. Got it.
Third, most of these tools have quality settings. Don't just use the default, play around with them.
Ah, like a trade-off between speed and quality?
Exactly. Sometimes the fastest setting is fine if you just need a rough instrumental quickly, but if you need it for a proper remix or cover, you'll want to crank up the quality setting, even if it takes a bit longer to process. Experiment to find the sweet spot for your needs.
Right, tailor it to the job.
Yeah. And finally, think beyond just the vocal removal step. Integrate these tools into your bigger creative workflow.
How do you mean?
Well, once you have your separated tracks, your instrumental, your vocals, maybe your drums and bass from Splitter, pull them into your video editor. Sync visuals to your new custom instrumental. Or add scrolling lyrics for a proper karaoke video.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Use the separated stems in your music software, your DAW, as the starting point for a remix. The vocal removal isn't just the end goal. It can be the first step in a much larger creative project.
That's a great way to think about it. It unlocks the next stage. Wow, this has been really eye-opening. We've covered a lot about AI vocal removal. It's genuinely amazing how far this tech has come, how accessible it is now.
It really is.
Turning these super complex tasks into something almost effortless.
Yeah, and I think the truly fascinating thing here isn't just that these tools exist, it's how they make us rethink our whole relationship with music.
How so?
Well, when anyone can take apart a song, dissect it, recombine it so precisely, what does that enable? What new kinds of art could emerge? What new ways of teaching or learning music become possible?
Yeah.
It really poses a question for everyone listening. How could you use this ability? Could it unlock some creative idea you hadn't even considered before, now that you can manipulate sound this way?
That's a great question to leave people with. Really gets you thinking. We'd definitely love to hear your ideas on that. And hey, if you want to get started and need the direct links, the best files, setup guides for these tools, just comment vocal remover below this deep dive wherever you're listening or watching, and I'll DM you the good stuff.
Nice.
And of course, if you like this and want more breakdowns of free AI tools that make creating easier, make sure you subscribe to The Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with more.